Live from downtown Detroit, Local 4 News at 11 starts now.
Buildings evacuated as a strong earthquake hits southern Mexico.
Not so fast. Detroit's voters may have said yes to loosening up the rules when it comes to where marijuana shops can go, but late tonight, a Wayne County judge says no.
And President Trump making an unannounced visit with victims of Florida's school shooting just hours after the FBI admits missing the warning signs about the man charged with the shooting.
Thanks for staying up with us tonight. Today, the first funerals were held for the victims of Wednesday's school massacre.
And late tonight, a surprise hospital visit by President Trump and protests outside the NRA headquarters in Virginia. All this as investigators try to figure out what spurred the shooting spree.
Wendy Woolfolk reports from Parkland, Florida. Wendy?
The president makes an unannounced trip to the South Florida hospital where 3 victims of Wednesday's massacre remain.
They have done an incredible job. The doctor was amazing. We saw numerous people and incredible recovery. Incredible. And first responders, everybody. The job they've done is incredible.
This after the FBI's stunning admission. A warning of what was to come here at Stoneman Douglas High School, missed 6 weeks ago.
The caller provided information about Nikolas Cruz and the potential of him becoming a school shooter.
Specifically, the caller was concerned with 19-year-old Nikolas Cruz's gun ownership, a desire to kill people, as well as erratic behavior and multiple disturbing posts on social media.
The FBI has determined that protocol was not followed. The information was not provided to the Miami field office.
But that admission of deep regret, no consolation for parents who are now burying their teenage children.
A tragedy and a devastation that has stolen our innocence, forced our children to grow up too soon, to experience a pain that nobody should ever know.
A grief-stricken community coming to grips with the reality that this tragedy might have been prevented. Wendy Woolfolk, Local 4.
All right, Wendy. Medical marijuana and where it can be sold, once again the center of controversy in the city of Detroit tonight. You remember, just last year, Detroit voters approved 2 new ballot proposals that loosened up restrictions on the placement of these dispensaries. Well, a judge has put that on hold. Mara McDonald on Detroit's east side tonight with what it means. Mara?
The short answer is that any sort of easing up on the rules for dispensaries like this, well, that's all on hold. But don't be surprised if this whole issue ends up at the Michigan Supreme Court. Michigan voters approved medical marijuana usage back in 2008, and it's been nothing but legal wrangling ever since. Who can grow, how many plants, what kind of licenses, and where it can be sold. Soon, shops with the little green lights popped up like weeds, pun intended, especially along the 8-mile corridor on Detroit's east side. Neighbors who lived in the area were fed up and complained.
It absolutely is crazy. They should not be concentrated like that.
The city listened and went into zoning crackdown mode, shuttering nearly half of Detroit's 300 dispensaries for violating zoning ordinances. Last year, 2 marijuana ballot proposals were aimed at relaxing those zoning ordinances. For example, Detroit said you couldn't have 2 dispensaries within 1,000 feet of each other. The ballot proposals knocked it back to 500 feet. Now, a Wayne County judge has overturned one of those pot proposals and part of the second. He says the law says you can't zone by ballot initiative. In other words, the language used in the ballot proposals is illegal and should not stand. What does all this mean? For now, the city is back in the driver's seat when it comes to zoning these dispensaries. And here's the other thing. The judge who made this ruling, he was just overturned this month on another one of his marijuana rulings. And I cannot imagine that those who support dispensaries, whether it's the owners or the citizens groups who support them, are not going to try and fight this out at a higher court level. We're on Detroit's east side. I'm Mara McDonald, Local 4.
Okay, Mara, a powerful magnitude 7.2 earthquake shakes South and Central Mexico. The epicenter was in a rural area south of Mexico City where a deadly earthquake hit 5 months ago. The shaking was caught on camera in a Mexico City office. The video shows ceiling lamps swaying violently. The shaking went on for about a minute or so. Some buildings show minor damage while some roads buckled. No deaths, though, have been reported.
Neighbors are in shock tonight after a family of 4 is found dead inside their home. Bodies were discovered in a home on Cass Lake just south of Orchard Lake Road in Kego Harbor. Police say they were called to do a welfare check on the family, and that's when they discovered the bodies. They are calling it a murder-suicide. Neighbors say they never thought this would happen in their neighborhood.
It's hard to say. You just never know, you know, what's going to face in your neighborhood. You don't know from day to day anymore.
Police are still investigating, but they say they are starting to get a clearer picture of what happened.
A fire breaks out at the Romeo Street Apartments in Rochester, and some residents are now scrambling to find a place to sleep. The fire started on the lower level, and 4 of the 8 units were damaged. There were no serious injuries, though. The cause of the fire is still under investigation.
Michigan is now at the center of an ongoing investigation into Russian interference in the 2016 presidential election. 13 Russian nationals are accused of an elaborate plot to disrupt the election. They're charged with running a massive social media trolling campaign aimed in part at helping Donald Trump defeat Hillary Clinton. Some of the Russians are also accused of traveling to the U.S. in 2014 to gather intelligence against Clinton. Michigan is among one of the states they allegedly visited. Now, these are the first criminal charges against Russians believed to have secretly worked to influence our voting.
Okay, over here in the Weather Center with Ben. It feels a lot cooler tonight than it did this time yesterday.
It is. In fact, this is really going to be the coldest that we'll have to get through. All the lawns have that nice little crusty sheen on the snow from the melting and refreezing, but we will get back to mild temperatures before too long. Tonight is not the night. 13 already in Ann Arbor, 20s elsewhere, and the wind chills down into the teens in some spots. Wind's not going to be all that bad as we go forward towards daybreak, but we could drop a little bit more. However, there are some clouds coming in, and that could stop temperatures from falling too far from where we're at right now. Here's a quick glance at the weekend. We get warmer tomorrow at 36, and then the nicest day of the 2, Sunday. Mostly sunny and 41, but in between here, as we get into the evening, we're going to be looking at light snow. We'll talk timing of that and some incredibly warm temperatures for next week, all in a few minutes. Guys.
Okay, Ben. Michigan drivers are being ticketed less. State courts and municipalities are seeing a drop in revenue as police write a historically low number of traffic tickets. Statewide revenue dropped $50 million from 2006 to 2016. Experts blame police staffing shortages for the decrease. Well, it's a huge gift, a home for a family.
Yeah, one organization plans to.
With a few final touches, a once vacant house on Detroit's west side is now ready for its new occupants.
We want to bless families.
And that blessing comes in the form of this 4-bedroom house. When Odell Hines with the nonprofit group I Am New Detroit purchased the place, it needed work outside and take a look at the inside. The organization plans to give this home to a deserving veteran's family, but in the process, they hit a big snag.
Yes, I did. Yes, I did.
The original contractor bailed with less than a week to the big reveal.
We didn't want to give them this house if it wasn't done.
That's when the crew with Burton and Associates stepped in.
And I knew that they could make this family a happy family.
But there was a lot to get done.
Touch up tile, grout, clean, electrical, plumbing, everything.
With all the work needed, it wasn't looking good.
I could not see being done in a couple of days.
3 days to be exact.
But when the guys realized who would get this home, the impossible became possible.
I have veterans in my family, so seeing the cost and what they've done for us, we wanted to reach back and give back.
These contractors did more than just beat the clock with this transformation. They donated all of their services to get the home ready, an estimated $10,000 worth of time, sweat, and equipment.
Who cares about money when we're giving back for a cause?
And now a veteran's family will have a new home and a money-saving plan to maintain it.
Out of that money, the taxes, the insurance, and the water would be taken to pay for this house.
A vision to help, now a reality, thanks to a caring community.
This is a higher spirit above, and, blessing everybody hard to make this happen.
I Am New Detroit will reveal which veteran wins the House during the Black Tie Gala Saturday night here at the Charles H. Wright Museum. Reporting in Detroit, Jermont Terry, Local 4.
That's fantastic. All right, Jermont. Well, you could say he was flippin' mad. 2 men facing charges after this wild case of road rage.
Wow. Also, hikers looking for adventure got more than that when they got lost and needed to be rescued. But we'll have a look at why they were ticketed. Jamie.
You think sledding is fun this time of year? I argue sliding is a bigger rush, and you could do it right here in Michigan. I'll tell you where and how coming up on Local 4. Woo!
We can change the world.
Find your morning moment here. It's Product Test Week on Local 4 News Today. Do these as seen on TV products live up to the hype? Monday, one claims to make making the bed a breeze, and the other says say goodbye to snack time messes. Then, all week, see which of these inventive items gets the gold and which failed to perform. Know which product you want tested? Share your ideas now at Click on Detroit, and we'll put the viewer's favorite to the test Friday. The moment you wake up, turn to Local 4 News Today.
As you've been watching the Olympics, perhaps you have heard yourself say several times, I'd love to try that just once. But finding venues for sports like, say, the luge is not easy.
Yeah, but on the west side of the state in Muskegon, you can actually take a shot and live out your Olympic dreams. Jamie Edmonds shows us how fun and difficult it really is.
We came out to Muskegon to the Winter Sports Complex where all sorts of things are offered, from ice skating to snowshoeing to cross-country skiing, but we wanted to try something different. So we take a walk into the woods. Our destination, the Muskegon Luge Track, one of the only publicly accessible luge tracks in America. That's right, anyone can take a spin on a sled down 750 feet of track through 4 turns, all the while going 20 to 25 miles per hour. It's at this point that I ask myself what I've gotten into, but then they tell me kids as young as 8 years old slide here.
We try to start the kids young here, and if they really love it and they're really showing promise, then we send them to Lake Placid.
This track is a youth development seeding program to the USA Luge program. They welcome kids to come and try it out, because you never know, they could be the next Mark Grimmett, a 5-time Olympian who got his start right here on this track when it was built in 1984. But those without Olympic dreams are more than welcome as well, and adults and kids of all ages sign up for the public clinics. Anna Basai is a luge coach. She takes me through what she teaches everyone.
So we have the Kufens right here, the red parts. Kufen is the German word for runner. It's what you're going to be using to steer. You're going to lay down, you're going to grab onto these handles right here. Your feet are going to go up, and your head and your shoulders are going to go back.
So that concludes our classroom portion. Arm guards, check. Helmet, check. Now it's time to slide. But first, you have to carry your own sled up 70 stairs.
Because I'm exhausted.
Whew. Once at the top, there's no going back.
Well, let's see. Holy crap, this is scary right here. Ah!
19 seconds later, I'm at the bottom, safe and sound and laughing, and ready to do it all over again. So the slogan here at the Muskegon Winter Sports Complex is slide like an Olympian, scream like an 8-year-old girl. I would say my screams were at least 13, 14 years old, but I would recommend anyone coming out to try this. In Muskegon, Jamie Edmonds, Local 4.
That's great.
She did really well because we've got her decked out with 2 GoPros,
right.
and you're being watched through the whole thing.
Exactly. I wouldn't make it up the stairs, though. I'd be out by then, yeah. Well, the Muskegon Winter Sports Complex has clinics every Friday to Sunday for the public. For more information, you can head to the Olympics page of our website, clickondetroit.com.
You're going to find someplace else for skeleton. Doesn't look like they want you going down face first, which is a strange thing in itself. All right, let's bring in Ben for what we've got ahead for the weekend.
Well, I think our viewers deserve a gold medal for staying up this late with us, first of all.
They're doing really well, 12:32.
And I thought we would find the next Nathan Chen out here on the ice tonight, but we're on so late, everybody went home. It's closing time down at Campus Martius, but it looks great out there and definitely feels like winter. We're getting some of these colder temperatures back. We're at 22 right now. Winds have calmed down, so wind chill right now is matching the air temperature. We'll probably drop a couple more degrees, but as we said at the top of the show, the clouds that are coming in should put a stop to this free fall with temperatures. But as the case when normally we see clear skies, Ann Arbor and Port Huron, they start dropping like rocks, and not to be outdone. 13 there at Ann Arbor, 18 in Port Huron, but most of us are in the low to mid 20s right now. But here come the clouds. You can see them just south of the state line. They'll start invading, and they will fully be here as we wake up tomorrow morning. So we're expecting pretty much overcast skies for a good chunk of our Saturday, but there were some beautiful sunsets tonight. Got a picture from Jennifer. She was on her way to Lexington on Storm Pin. She snapped this for us and sent it in. Appreciate that, Jennifer. And of course, we love to see your pictures of all kinds of stuff as we get through the rest of this winter here in the great state of Michigan. Otherwise, the clouds start moving in, and again, by the time we wake up tomorrow morning, we'll see clouds across. Well, who am I kidding? If you're staying up this late, you're not getting up at 8 a.m. So by the time somebody gets up at 8 a.m., the clouds will be here. Whatever time you get out of bed, generally expect clouds on Saturday. We stay dry until we get into the evening hours. 7 p.m., you start seeing this snow out here to the west. It does start to weaken a bit, but looks like we're all going to get some snow showers tomorrow evening. Just enough to give us a dusting, but definitely less than an inch of accumulation expected. Sunday, the sunshine comes back, and we'll start warming those temperatures up too, right around 40 degrees to finish, but that's nothing compared to what we got coming next week, as we could be rivaling record highs by Tuesday. 19 tonight, clouds returning late from the south. Highs tomorrow, 36. That is an improvement over what we had today, but again, plenty of clouds around, and we'll start watching for that snow as we get into the evening hours. And then looky here, Monday and Tuesday, 55 and 60 respectively. Ooh. Now it is coming with a lot of rain, and in fact, by the time we get to Wednesday, some of us are going to have 2 inches of rain on the ground. So we got to start watching for flooding concerns by the middle of next week.
Yeah. All right, Ben.
All right. Well, a teenager saves the day when a coach collapses in a weight room. How the teen's experience played a crucial role in saving the coach's life.
But first, this one has police puzzled. How a man in the back of a squad car got his hand on a rifle.
The Detroit.
A man in California barricaded himself in a rather unlikely place inside a police car. Officers responded to a call requesting help to evaluate a mental health patient. Police put him in the back of the car while waiting for EMS. He was not in handcuffs, and the man grabbed a rifle from the front seat because of a broken lock in the car. He fired one shot. That led to a 3-hour standoff. The man finally surrendered and was then arrested.
Talk about a serious case of road rage. 2 drivers get into an argument along a highway near San Diego. At one point, the driver outside spits at the driver in the SUV. The driver of the SUV decides to drive around him, but that doesn't quite work out. He hits the side of the car in front of him, and his own car flips onto its side. Look at that. My goodness. Everybody was okay, but police arrested the man in the SUV for assault charges.
New video shows an Ohio teenager saving a coach's life. Video shows the coach sitting on a bench. Moments later, you see him collapse to the ground, and then the teen, who is a lifeguard at the gym, steps into action. She quickly sets up the portable defibrillator to jumpstart the coach's heart, gives him CPR, and did all that till paramedics arrived, and the coach has now made what we're told is a full recovery.
A dramatic rescue in San Francisco after 3 hikers became trapped on a cliff. 3 climbers somehow crossed ropes and became trapped. The hikers used cell phones to communicate with 911 to help firefighters locate them. Crews used harnesses and ropes to pull them up. Nobody was injured, but police did issue each of them a $250 ticket for creating a hazardous condition. Well, check this out. The British Antarctic Survey released new video showing a massive new iceberg.
Broke away from Antarctica last year. It is the biggest iceberg ever recorded. And to give you a size reference, this iceberg is larger than the state of Delaware. So kind of like the state of Delaware just sort of floating around, moving on its own.
Hard to even,
You can't even conceive of it.
Yeah. Hey, Bernie.
Hey, Kimberly. Well, we'll update you on the Olympics. I thought Nathan Chen, nice comeback
Best
after last
score of the night,
Yeah,
actually.
absolutely. Terrific. Hey, Greg Campy won his 600th game of his career. We've got highlights of that. In a little bit, we call Get to Know Mike Tirico. Come on back.
We're not super